Hi parents, I'm Mrs. Guzman, and this is my parent tip for turning YouTube videos into teachable moments. Up next on Gifted Guzman. I wasn't originally going to do this video because I actually hadn't even thought about it. What prompted me to make this video was because I was actually talking about my previous video, turning video games into teachable moments with my students, and they groaned and moaned so much that they said that they were going to stop playing video games because I was going to ruin it for them forever by making them learn something, and so they were just going to start watching more YouTube. So he said, really, more YouTube? Good, I'll turn that into a teachable moment. So I thought I would share some of my tips with you so that you can turn their YouTube watching into teachable moments. One of the YouTube video series or types or genres that I've seen them watch a lot of and that they talk about a lot is makeup tutorials. A lot of them like to watch the makeup tutorials and see what some of the new trends are in makeup. So that's one of the types of videos that they're watching. I find a lot of things interesting about these makeup tutorials. Some of the things we've talked about in class are allergies. Students didn't even know that some people could gain allergies from makeup, and people with sensitive skin. So they can always do research about allergies and what happens when you have an allergy to makeup and what you have to do. Some of them don't know the history of makeup, so you can always have your student look up the history of makeup, where it started, where we think that it might have first started. You can look up makeup as an industry and see how much the makeup industry makes. They can look up some of the things that people have talked about with animal testing in the past for makeup. There's so many different things that students can research about makeup. So one of my recommendations is, if your student is very interested in the makeup videos and the makeup tutorials, definitely have them do some research into that industry. How it started, where it came from, where it might be going in the future. Any kind of research and anytime they can make a connection is a really great way to turn something into a teachable moment. The other kind of videos that I saw them watching a lot are video game play. They like to watch other people playing video games. I personally don't get it, but it's something that they really enjoy. So I thought, well, in the other video game video, I had you talk to them about the video game and do some research about the specific video game. But maybe in this one, we could talk about video games as an industry, just like we talked about makeup as an industry. So where did those video games start? Way back with Atari, even back with Tandy. Like, what is the history of video games? Again, everything has a history, so they can research where something came from and how it has changed over time and where it may be going in the future. They can talk about VR and AR, which is virtual reality and augmented reality, and where things might be going in the future. They might actually really be interested in that. Again, they can write stories about the video games, or maybe they can write letters to some of these video game players and tell them what they like about their channel, or what they like about the way they play video games, or how they wish they could play video games. Or they could look into championship video game teams and see how many hours they spend a week. Again, we're talking more of like a research type project, but now that they have so much available to them on the internet, it is much easier for them to do research projects. Another thing I was thinking about is just YouTube in general as a whole. So what can we do when we talk about YouTube in general? Again, we can go back to that history of, where did YouTube start? When did it all start? How did it start? Why did it start? What is happening now? Because there are some new platforms that want to take over from YouTube, and they may not even know about that. So the students could research that. They could research their favorite channel. Who is this on their favorite channel? What do I really know about them? What do I know about their journey to becoming part of their favorite channel? Maybe I could write them a letter and ask them, what was their journey like? What do they recommend if I want to become a famous YouTuber? Because that is actually a new profession that many of the students want to go into, is they would like to become famous YouTubers. So what is that like as a profession? So that can be something that they're thinking forward. The last category I saw predominantly was music videos. The students watch a lot of the music artists on here and watch the videos. So I thought this is a great way to research these artists and find out maybe what was the artist's influence. You can usually Google and find out, who influenced, and I can't think of an artist off the top, Maroon 5 or Adam Levine. Like, who was his influences? Then the students can go backwards into that time period. Let's say he was influenced by Michael Jackson. They can go back and do some research on Michael Jackson, maybe listen to the music from the 80s and get some different ideas of what the music was like and write a little paper about what the music was like. Or maybe they could write their own song. We always encourage them to write songs. They do like music. So to write songs is a teachable moment, and write a song about what they learned about maybe the 80s in the style of an 80s song, or what they learned about the 80s in the style of today's type of song. So again, there are lots of different ways to turn the things they like into teachable moments so they can see that interconnectivity of everything that's out there in the world. If you have any questions about a specific type of YouTube video or a YouTube channel that you've seen and you want me to help you think of a way to turn it into a teachable moment and you're not quite sure, you can comment below and I will respond back with ways that you can turn that into a teachable moment. And again, I hope you keep learning.